Trump is terrified of losing the midterms, and he's hinting at potential election interference down the road. His remarks at a closed GOP House retreat yesterday reveal a lot more than he probably wanted to. My name is Tenbarge. I'm an independent journalist partnering with COURIER, and I also run the newsletter spitfirenews.com. Let's get into this story. So during yesterday's GOP retreat, Trump gave one of his typical long, rambling, nonsensical speeches, but there are a few moments that I wanted to pull out and examine because they hint at potential plans down the road, as well as his anxieties about being so unpopular right now for obvious reasons.
We had the worst president, did the worst job. They had the worst policy. We have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator. Nobody's worse than Obama and the people that surrounded Biden. Not Biden. I don't think it was Biden. He didn't know what the hell was going on, okay? The election was rigged. He had no idea what happened. He still doesn't.
It's now the year 2026. Why is Trump still talking about Barack Obama? And did you catch that he said he won't say we shouldn't have an election because then the media will call him a dictator? That would probably actually be refreshing if the mainstream media called out Trump to that degree, but they aren't. And this is not the first time, let alone the clearest example of him hinting at potential election interference, which should concern everybody. In just the past year, Trump has released merchandise that says Trump 2028, and he shared AI images that depict him as a king. It's very clear through his rhetoric and his marketing what his intentions are, and trying to tiptoe around that while focusing on past presidencies isn't going to change that fact. So, why is Trump so concerned about future elections? Well, let's focus in on a couple other moments from this speech that are very telling.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them. You know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100.
So here we have Trump saying that if Republicans lose the midterms, he's worried about getting impeached again for a third time. Now, if you have to think back, the first time Trump got impeached was in 2019 over his improper handling of the war between Russia and Ukraine. And the second time that the House voted to impeach him was over the January 6th insurrection, the anniversary of which was just yesterday. Now, there are plenty of reasons why Trump could get impeached for a third time. He's constantly going around congressional authority and taking obscene actions that aren't within his boundaries as president. But in this case, he's really worried for a good reason. His popularity, as well as conservative ideology in general, is plummeting in terms of how it's being received by everyday Americans. And Trump knows that, which is why he's urging Republicans to try and win the midterms this time around. They're up against a really steep uphill battle. Another idea that Trump is conflating here is the idea that people should run for Congress to protect him specifically, to protect his reputation and his standing as president. This is the inverse of what Congress is supposed to do. It's part of the three branches of government, the shared checks and balances. They're supposed to be holding Trump accountable. But as we've seen time and time again, Republicans adhere to this party line to protect their leader, even when he blatantly flouts his duties as president. When it comes to impeaching and actually removing Trump from office, you wouldn't need just a House majority. You would also likely need a majority in the Senate. Right now, the split in the House is really, really close. Democrats would probably need an additional 20 seats if they actually wanted to remove Trump from office. Because the thing about being impeached is it's already happened to him twice, and yet here he is in this position. It's because the Senate ultimately has the responsibility of trying those charges and removing Trump from office. But in the past, they've abdicated that duty, which is why we're here where we are today. Now, there's one more moment that I want to look at from this speech because I think it reveals a lot about where Trump's mindset is right now, and also gives us an opportunity to respond and point out all of the obvious ways and reasons why Americans do not trust him and will probably not be voting in his favor in the midterms.
Illogical, like you vote against. You can win by a lot. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by millions. We won everything. But they say that when you win the presidency, you lose the midterm. So you're all brilliant people. Most of you are in this business longer than me. That makes me smarter than you, because look where I am, right? No, it doesn't. But I wish you could explain to me what the hell's going on with the mind of the public, because we have the right policy. They don't. They have horrible policy.
What's going on with the mind of the public? I can answer that one, and why Trump's policies are so unpopular. Where to even begin? For one, Americans are seeing the spread of AI data centers to produce AI slop that nobody even wants. Meanwhile, these centers are polluting people's neighborhoods and making it hard for everyday Americans to both breathe and to afford their electricity bills. On top of that, America looks like a global laughingstock right now because of Trump's invasion of Venezuela, as well as his unmitigated aggression toward Greenland and other territories. It is no wonder why voters have immediately shifted their opinions after the 2024 election and why the midterms look so bleak for Trump. And the last thing that I have to note here is, as usual, when a long Trump speech is released to the public, the media goes out of its way to sort of sane wash what's happening here. They use adjectives like, oh, Trump was rambling, or Trump was freewheeling, or this speech covered a lot of different topics. When the reality is, Trump's speeches are continuously nonsensical. They don't make any sense. And the longer you listen, the more clear it is why he is not a fit leader and why so many Americans have changed their tune after seeing his second term in office play out the way that it has. So, as we discussed today, Trump is currently governing with a razor thin majority in the House and the potential of even more seats switching in the Senate during the midterms. Now, looking forward, it's clear why he's anxious and why he's making these proclamations about potential election interference, but it should concern everyone because this is a clear indication that, yet again, Trump is willing to step outside the boundaries of all established norms and democratic precedents and attempt to take control in the exact same style that, say, a dictator or an authoritarian leader would.